Did you guys really think that Zoran Mamdani was going to make everything free and affordable and whatnot in New York City? You're going to have higher property tax, state tax, federal tax, this tax, that tax, green tax, blue tax. I'm not going to stay and pay all that money in New York City just to have worse services overall, doo-doo on the ground. No, thank you. Mamdani, hey, did you guys really think that Zoran Mamdani was going to make everything free and affordable and whatnot in New York City? Did you guys really believe that? Because I most certainly didn't. At a certain point, in order to have something for free, it must be paid for. And if you don't have that money to pay for it, then how will it become accomplished? How are you going to do a thing that costs money for free if you don't have money to pay for it somewhere? It makes no sense. You can't just say, we're going to provide this service that cost $18 billion with $0 in the bank. That's not the way it works. So what do you got to do? You got to raise taxes to do it. Now, Zoran says we're going to find every way to just take the money from the rich people rather than taxing you, the citizen of New York.
We have a broken property tax system in this city. We have one that can barely stand up in court. And my goal is to reform that system, to work with partners in state government. We have our assembly member here, Eddie Gibbs. We have many other assembly members and senators who have spoken for years about the importance of having a system that is fair. What we are hoping for, what we will spend every day looking towards, is working with Albany to increase taxes on the wealthiest and the most profitable corporations such that a fiscal crisis is not resolved on the backs of working and middle-class New Yorkers. That's what we're going to spend every day working towards, because we want to build a city that makes this one where working people can not only live, but can also dream.
Now, my question is, what will stop these people from leaving? If Mamdani says we're going to have this big, crazy tax hike on you guys specifically, why not just leave if you're able to leave? If I'm a rich guy, I got a big bag of money, and I have an apartment in New York City, and he's talking about, okay, we're going to take about 2% of that, 3% of that. I was like, I bet you won't. I bet you won't. I'm not paying that luxury tax to stay in this roach motel, in this rat race, this rat trap. I'm not paying that amount of money to stay here. I'm going to go to Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to stay up there around that way. I'm going to go to hang out with Trump down in Florida. I'm not going to stay and pay all that money in New York City just to have worse services overall, doo-doo on the ground. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want that. Okay, I'm not paying to have these big super rats. Hey, I saw one of these rats. Hey, the rat was so big. I like, man, is that AI? It looked like a baby walrus. A baby walrus just out on the street with some Timberland boots and the fitted on. Yo, what up, son? I'm the walrus, son. It was humongous. I'm like, man, y'all rats are ridiculous here. Y'all, they got a whole new species of rodent out there in New York City. And here come this guy talking about we're going to raise taxes. And if they can't raise taxes on the richest people in the city, they're going to raise property taxes on all New York City residents by, not 2, they're going to raise it by 9.5%. So whatever the tax is now, you're going to have 9.5% on top of that. It's going to stack. Who want to pay that? You're going to have higher property tax, state tax, federal tax, this tax, that tax, bad tax, green tax, blue tax. You're going to be taxed to death to the point where it's like California. And you already know what California is like. Gas, $4 on the low end. You're going to pay $500,000 to live in the ghetto with bars in your window. $500,000 American dollars to live in a home in the ghetto with bars in the window. I would never. Where I live here in Tennessee, no state income tax at all. Hey, it's beautiful. It smells good. Got nice flowers and just scenery. It's great. It's America. Now, to defend Zoran a little bit, there was a migrant crisis that happened to him. And Eric Adams said you will have a $12 billion deficit because of the migrants. Now, it's about $12 billion right now. Although some say it's like 5.5 billion. They're going to do little tricks with the numbers. Oh, well, we got this fund to be able to contribute to it and that fund. They're going to try to finagle it to where it's only 5.5. But the reality is it's still $12 billion. They got to come up with some kind of way. They say they have 7 billion secured, but they're still 5.5 short. What does that mean? Like I said, tax hike on the rich or you. Let's look at this right here. It's a little bit of a contrast between his commercials, between his campaign ads, and what the reality is right now on the ground. Now, I think Zoran's a pretty sharp guy, but his politics are not what he's presenting them as. I see him as somebody that's going to just manage the decline in New York City. It's going to be a managed decline because all the signs point toward that. You're doing things that are intentionally going to drive out the population that actually produce anything in the city. So why are you doing that? Is there a reason? I'm not really sure. Are you trying to thin out the population? Are you trying to get rid of some of these rats and roaches? Are you trying to restructure, rebuild? It's like you have an NBA basketball team and you're tanking to try and get a high lottery pick. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. It's done on purpose, although it appears to be incompetent. But let's go ahead and check it out right quick.
It's true. As your next mayor, I will freeze your rent.
Paid for by Zoran for NYC.
You're going to freeze the rent, free buses, free this, free that, and the logo, the campaign logo, Zoran for an affordable New York City. Okay, keep that word affordable in your mind. Right here in the front of your head. Keep it right there as we watch this part.
In order to get to this point of closing the gap on both this fiscal year and the next fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes.
So you got to raid this fund, raid that fund, raise property taxes, all kind of stuff. What happened to free and affordable? What happened to that? Oh, okay. These things you're talking about that are so-called free actually cost money, and the money come from the taxpayer. Oh, okay. So I can get a free bus as long as I pay for it. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. But hey, such is math. Sometimes it doesn't make sense when the math ain't mathing because you got socialists adding the numbers. Now, what happened in New York City was you had all that snow, right? And the snow was just in piles and piles and piles, and it wasn't really going anywhere. I know it's wintertime, it's cold, whatever, I get it. But as the snow piles just stayed there, you got trash being put on top, people's dogs using the bathroom right on top. So now that the snow has partially melted, I'm going to show you some of that doo-doo on the ground, okay? You can't really see it up close too much, but it's like a bunch of little pellets. Well, it's big piles, kind of, sort of. Now, for you guys in New York, again, I'm ignorant. I don't know about New York like that. I know a little bit, but I'm not a New Yorker. Is this normal after a big snow and the snow's on the ground, it's on the sidewalk, it's piled up after being plowed? Is it normal to have trash and doo-doo in it, and then when it melts, it's on the sidewalk? I'm trying to understand.
Bro, this sidewalk is filled with like, this is ridiculous. I'm scared I'm gonna step in it. But yo, I ain't never seen no like that. Pun intended.
Hey, so to my New Yorkers, have you ever seen the city like this with just piles and piles and piles of doo-doo on the ground, on the sidewalk? Have you ever seen that? Shout out to you guys in New York City. Hopefully everything works out with Zoran. I hope it does. But if it doesn't work out with Zoran, Mamdani, I don't want to be that guy, but I told you so. Listen, I don't want to be that guy, but I told you so. We all told you so if things don't work out. Man, look, I'm not staying. It's not worth that much money to stay up there with them kind of conditions. And shout out to my New Yorkers. I appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you guys for being who you are. And I love the way you guys talk. I'm walking here. I love that. The black dudes in Harlem, the white dudes, Staten Island, the Italians, the Irish, the Jays, the Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, everybody. Shout out to all you guys. But I'm not paying that much to be up there. And I don't think the majority of you guys would pay that luxury tax to live in New York City either. I'm just saying.